stand and we'll do the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. Okay, today is Monday, October 7th, 2019. The time is 7 p.m. The regular meeting of the Greensburg City Council is called to order. At this time, please silence electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary, anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. That's ordered by Josh and Jeff and Tara. Okay. Roll call, please.
Ryan Benzie here, Kevin Fleetwood.
Here.
Darren Covington.
Here.
Jamie Kane.
Here.
And Darryl Holden.
Okay, thank you. You should have received the minutes from September 3rd, 2019. Is there any corrections to those minutes? What you guys saw?
Move to approve.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so passed. Next is the old business, investments. Ashley?
So I gave everyone a copy of what you received at last month's meeting. The proposal prepared by Baker Tilly, and then I also gave you some of the reports for general MBH, the LRS, and rainy day. So, interest rates are currently dropping as we speak. So really on at least the side of the city, I guess my question just comes down to general fund, MBH, LRS, and rainy day, how much the council would like to invest.
I guess I'd like to make a recommendation that maybe we table this for one more month, only because we have an election coming up, or well, I guess 2 months, because it wouldn't be done before next month. The other candidates got some other ideas they would like to do with the money. I hate, depending on whichever way it ends up, to handcuff somebody putting them in that seat if it does go that way. If it doesn't go that way, then let's go back to look at this, I think. But I'd like to table it until December, I guess, because by November's meeting we won't know.
Okay.
That's my recommendation.
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I don't know how much we'd lose if we waited 2 months. That's the problem. With everything, I don't know anything about investments. So, Kevin. So, anybody have any other opinion?
I mean, we're the current elected officials, we can make the decision now.
No, we can. I just think of the fact that it's 2 months away. I guess my opinion is we wait.
And just not that it, I mean, it's obviously up to the council, but I have checked into other options. And basically, what I'm wanting to do boils down to having a little bit longer investment instead of having a daily rate. Because a daily rate, if it drops tomorrow, it drops tomorrow. You get invested for a few months, and at least you have that for those few months.
So what, tell me again, what is the ask for today?
Well, what had been signed through Baker Tilly was basically the contract to go ahead to investments with them and just deciding how much we wanted to invest.
Because I was thinking on the MVH, I was kinda not really liking the million. I was more like with the 500,000 on there. Because we never know when we have a road project or something pop up, so we wouldn't be penalized.
And at any time, if you want to get out of the contract, we just have to give Baker Tilly 30 days notice. Paige, are you out there? Do you want to maybe stand up and give why you feel, Baker Tilly's options or?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't work in investment advisory services. That's more Jeff Messer. But, I mean, what they put together is a good, laddered portfolio where you don't have everything tied up for a long period of time. There's varying maturities. And, when we tell you what your core fund balances are, we're pretty comfortable that you can invest that amount. But like the mayor said, if you want to back off on one of these, especially MVH, that's completely fine. This is all based on your comfort level. But Ashley's right, the interest rates continually change, and by not investing, you are losing out on potential interest earnings. But again, it's your decision, so.
Okay.
I heard Fed meets again later this year, and they're fairly certain they're going to cut the rates again at that level. That trickles down to the market. We had talked about this. We had said that the amount that we're willing to invest did not jeopardize our operations in the city. Right now, we're earning nothing. What is the length of so these are staggered, so what's the shortest period? Do you remember?
We have it at 6 months, but I believe you can also do a 3 month. The more we can invest in, the longer, obviously, the best.
6 months to, what was the maximum one?
18.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
That was 2 years.
And
Talking about up to 2 years.
like I said, irregardless of how the election goes, I just wanted to bring this before the council because I do think it's, all of our jobs to do what's best for the city. And I hate that we haven't had anything invested for several years. So I hate that nothing's being done at the moment.
Well, we have a large amount with the water company because of the loan that we received for the water plant, so there's a substantial amount of money sitting there that we can be tapping into.
I think I mentioned last month my two apprehensions of doing this, and that was I felt like the amounts were a little high, and then the long-term investment that kind of concerns me also. Election or no election really doesn't come into play, in my mind, but maybe Jamie is right. It's something to think about. We've gone how many years without investing a dime?
Well, if we went to 3 months, it'd be in January, basically.
I mean, we could approve it in our December meeting. I guess that's my thought on it. Is we haven't invested in quite some time. To wait another 2 months, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this strategy. We just have another candidate that has a completely different strategy, and if we use this, then you've taken that ability completely away from that other person if they are the one that wins the race. I have no clue how that's going to go, and I'm not saying that this is a bad idea or we're being turned the wrong way. I guess my comment is just table it for 2 months and see how it goes.
We made the decision to invest the money when would time start?
If we made the decision today, they'd be looking for the best rates tomorrow, probably.
Yes.
So if we make the decision to do it, we look at a 3-month term, we would have these things invested in October, November, December, basically, or sometime in the January. And no matter who gets elected, it could be re-looked at.
And I actually pulled some of, when I started this, Baker Tilly actually came to us, and I pulled some of my notes, because this was new to me from the county. And this is some of where, you know, I got the idea, because I appreciate other people's input on things, and in some of their past minutes, they basically had a financial advisor come to the county for longer investments. It was just a different financial advisor. The smaller amounts, yes, it's not a bad thing to do, like you know, I have nothing but good to say about, Trust and Indiana, and I know that's where the county, what they use, but it's on a little bit smaller scale, I believe, but I think the larger investments, I mean, can I go out and get my own rates? Yes, but it's gonna take hours and hours and hours of my time to go out and get the very best rate, and that was my ultimate goal, was to have someone to get the very, very best rate possible for the city. And that's what they do, they go out and check all over the state.
And what's their fee for doing this?
It's a 10-point system, so basically nothing compared to the amount of earnings. I believe it's $1,000 per million. So you're talking,
One-time fee or?
yes, a year. So you're talking for, just say, $2.5 million, $2,500 for a year. And we're gonna see like 106,000.
Off a 1-year investment, versus a 3-month investment.
Right.
I don't have any issue with using the firm. I mean, you hire experts because they're experts at what they do.
Right.
You know, I have a 401k. I hire somebody else, pay fees for them to take care of it, because I don't have the time to figure all that out. So that doesn't.
Okay, any more discussion?
What do you think, Mike?
I feel the same way, I mean, I pay somebody to do mine too, and I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. Maybe you do, I mean, it can be changed, all you gotta do is give them a 30-day notice and then, but, I mean, the only thing we're out would be any money that we have to pay. Baker Tilly for their fees.
Okay, any other discussion? Well, I'd like to, do you want to even talk about cutting some of these, or just leaving it the way it is for 3 months, or what's your pleasure, council?
I did like the idea of cutting that in half.
Well, that was my concern,
For roads.
just in case.
What are the other numbers?
Million from the general fund, right? Is that right?
Million from the general, $1 million from MPH, LRS, 250,000, and rainy day, 200,000.
It looks like we was doing utility operations $1 million. And SRF debit services, we was doing 2.9 on there. And the water SRF construction, we was investing 21 million. So 3 months could be making a little money at 21 million if we invest that.
That wasn't a 3-month investment though, was it? That was a,
The way it's right now is 6, 9, 12, 15.
But you could. Okay, any other discussion? Okay.
I would entertain a motion to approve what's written except for the MVH, change it to 500,000.
I'll second. That's proposed.
Well, I mean, you got
So the next page shows what it's proposed.
the SRS or well, if you do it for what's proposed, or is that what, are you bound then?
Pardon?
If you do it for what's proposed, are you bound then for those months? And then, I mean, you just said that if we wanted to get out of this, give them 30 days notice that, you know, what,
So if come January, you needed to give them 30 days notice, then you could.
No, so no penalty?
But that's probably 30 days notice for contracts,
yeah.
Yes.
but not for.
Not for the investments.
But not for the investment.
Right.
So if you
Change
drew it
it.
earlier, I'm sure there's a penalty.
Yes,
Catching out.
yes, I'm sorry, I missed, yes.
Okay.
So are we changing these to 3 months? I guess that's where I was.
That's what I'm asking about.
Oh, okay.
I would go for the 3 months, yeah.
for all of them. Pretty safe for all of them.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Darryl. Aaron seconded. Roll call vote, please. Or any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Diana McKenzie?
Yes.
Kevin Fleetwood?
Yes.
Aaron Covington?
Yes.
Jamie Kane?
Yes.
Darryl Bolton?
Yes.
Okay, so passes. Okay. On the second and final reading of 2019-29, the Greensburg Community Schools budget. Mr. Hunter's here. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Hunter? I think we're pretty well. Was okay with what he had done in the past. So,
I'll make a motion, we pass 2019-29 on second reading.
Second.
okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ordinance 2019-28, city budget. Any changes or?
Make a motion we pass to 2019-28, second reading.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance 2019-26, salaries.
I'll make a motion, we pass as amended, right? We made some amendments to that one, didn't we?
Yeah. I believe you're right. Second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance 2019-30, utility salaries.
Move to approve on second.
Okay.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance 2019-27, elected official salaries.
Make a motion to pass on second reading
We can end that also.
as amended. We did.
Second.
I'm sorry. Remind me what the amendment was.
That was on the 1,500 to reply, the department head on that one.
Close the gap a little bit.
Okay. So, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So passes. Ron May, second and final reading of ordinance 2019-32, additional appropriation to purchase final right-of-way on Veterans Way. Any questions for Ron? Okay, could I have a motion, please, on the second reading to pass?
Move to approve?
Okay,
Second.
second by Ed. Okay, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, thanks, Ron. Oh, this is, get the final reading ordinance 2019-25, parking restriction on Central.
Make a motion to approve on second reading.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed?
Good job.
That's probably the shortest we're ever had about here.
I'll stay
Okay,
back
Mark
here and
Clyde.
trip up to the podium.
Second and final reading for ordinance 2019-31, additional appropriation for Walter Street drainage problem.
Mark, what do you think?
Daryl, thank you so much. I think you need to go ahead and approve it on the second reading.
That was our.
After the explanation that was given at the first reading, which I'm sure you remember verbatim, I don't see any reason to discuss it further.
Make a motion to approve. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Daryl.
Second.
Okay. Any other questions for Mark? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so pass. Okay, new business. County council members,
Yes, sir.
Ernie and Mr. Peters, Ernie and Danny Peters. Mr. Peters, that's the
Well,
big start.
Go right ahead, Ernie.
Okay. First off, I want to thank you for giving us your time. What we're trying to do here is, as you know, we're building a new jail. And putting all the funding together, not only building the jail, but now we have to operate the jail. And we're coming up just a little bit shy on the funds we need, that we think we need. We really don't have a definite idea of what the exact amount's going to be and everything. But we want to make sure that we have enough funding that we can properly operate the jail. So what we're trying to do is raise about $800,000 up to $1 million in extra funding in order to ensure that we have enough money to operate the new jail, which will be going into service next year. And we have several options, but one of our options is to fund this through public safety tax, which is already enacted at 0.25%, which I think we sent you copies of this. Is that correct?
Yeah, it should.
Does everybody have that?
I hope so.
Okay. And we're looking into, of course, right now, as a county, we receive $888,000, and the city receives $536,000 out of that. What we're trying to do is keep the rate at the lowest we can for all the citizens of Decatur County, and we're looking at maybe raising that to 0.40, which would, at the rate now, would increase the county's amount $530,000, and the city's amount approximately $321,000 per year would be the increased funds that you would receive. Am I doing this correct?
Yeah.
All right. So what we're doing is, we as the county are looking to apply the whole $530,000 to the jail operations. And what we're here to do is, one of our options would be if the city would take $300,000 of the additional monies that they would receive through this increase in tax and appropriate back to the county that we could put directly to the operation of the jail. I know that's a big thing to give up, but that's one of our options, and the reason we'd like to do this through public service tax, public safety tax, is it gives us flexibility to use it at the jail as we need it. Now, there's some other taxes that we could enact that we would receive 100% of, but it kind of ties your hands a little bit what you can do with that money. So I guess that's what we're here today. Danny, you want to expand on that?
What you're looking at here too is this year's 2019's money-wise. Next year could be a little bit better. In fact, according to the sheets I showed Dan and stuff, you're looking to gain about 30,000 on public safety if we don't even touch it. They haven't been certified yet, you're certified shares. But, you know, we'd like to have 300,000 for the next 5 years. That's what we'd like to have from you to help out a little bit. We're about $1 million over right now on budget, and 830,000 would bring us in line to where we could afford to absorb 150 to 200,000. Exactly what it was. And you got any questions? Try to answer.
Why are you over budget?
Well, the jail is one thing. We've got 140 to 150 prisoners average a day down at the jail right now. We just gave a brand new prosecuting attorney to the prosecutor.
Because he can't keep up.
He can't keep up. We've given the judge another person than the judge, Judge Bailey. And we're just trying to keep everything rolling. That's just all it amounts to.
So is the million over related to the construction? So it's not related?
Construction.
The construction doesn't have anything to do with it.
And some of it is direct jail operations, but some of it is concerned the extra prosecutor, you have extra secretary you need, you have extra equipment you need. It's just starting to overwhelm everything that's going on as far as more prisoners at the jail. So basically what we're saying is we would look to increase the tax 2%, and we were going to contribute 100% of what the increase is to the jail operations. What we're asking you is to take probably 90% of what you would receive and put it to the jail operations, and you still have the 10% or maybe a little more over that you can do with as you please.
You're probably gonna gain 50,000 anyway. You know, you're gonna gain 30 plus another 21, so you're gonna be at pretty close to 600,000 if we go to 0.40, which is a 0.15 increase. We're just trying to hold this thing down, is what we're trying to do.
So what other options did you explore besides raising the tax?
I'll explain it to you. There's a special jail operations tax that we can put on. The county receives it all. And but it's restricted to jail operations. You understand what I mean? It can only be used at the jail. And if we explore that, we're gonna explore the public safety tax too. Because we only wanna be at 0.40 is all the farther we want to go.
The question though is, what other options did you explore besides the tax?
That's really all we have at this point. Now, with the larger jail, we might have inmates from other counties coming in that might create some income for us. That would be the main other income source we would have. We do have some inmates now that are in other counties that we definitely bring it back to our county. That'll help cut our expenses there. So we're just trying to fill in the gap here till we get a good handle on what we really need. And by doing it this way, if we don't need your 300,000 after 5 years, that's money's going to go right into your budget in the public safety funding.
But you'll budget that 300,000 in your county budget. And so
Yeah, we'll count on that to be part of our jail operation.
So in 5 years, you're not going to cut $300,000 from your budget.
Well,
So I mean, it's never going to come back. I mean, once you budget that pot, you're going to want to keep asking for that pot to come back.
Well, we're asking for a 5-year commitment.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
what I'm
asking.
My point is, in 5 years though, you're gonna be $300,000 short.
Well,
Well, we're hoping on
So
it.
you're gonna ask for
We're
it
hoping.
again.
well, I don't
We're hoping all
know. We
this-
hope we don't have to.
We're hoping this all levels out. We really are, until they get this inmate thing straightened out, and get something going here. You know, we're looking at 140, 150 a day. Get something holds 120.
And I know we're talking right now, but I have other thoughts, but it seems like you're asking for 300,000 to really plug a hole in the county budget. Since the jail is not the issue, it sounds like you have the money for the jail, but you're asking the city to contribute dollars for the county budget.
We're asking for operations. We're not asking for nothing brick and mortar. We're asking for operations. Paying the jailers, buying you, whatever it takes, meals, things like that is what we're asking.
Is there an opportunity to increase like court costs, things like that, if we have to add a judge?
Yeah, there is. You know, we really don't have a handle on what our daily cost is gonna be. We don't know how many inmates we're gonna have. I mean, we've got 140 now. There's several home detention that they'll probably bring in and put into the jail. And in a year from now, we'll know a lot more than we know right now. We're just trying to cover.
According to the judge telling us, I know Mr. Kevin might be able to answer it, but there's gonna be, some of them's not even gonna have bond money here for long. We're just gonna take a look at them. If they feel like they can turn them loose, they turn them loose.
And we also got our jail pods that we have now. We might be able to sell those, which will fill the gap. But right now, we're owning both, so.
If you think you're gonna have a handle on it 1 year, why the 5-year request?
Because we're not sure what the new jail operation is gonna be. They explained it to me that it'll be at least a 2 to 5 year.
Yeah, we're just here asking, it's up to you. I mean, we have other options that we can do and we can use if we need to. And this is one that I think would work easiest for everybody.
Okay, let me ask this question. What if we deferred the first 300,000 to the city and then we go from that on for 5 years? Would that help or hurt?
I'll be honest with you, we need 300.
The 300,000 we're talking, we owe approximately 640,000 on the police department. We put in there about 200,000 a year. And so if I take the 300, I'm gonna knock it down to so it'd be 200, 300, that's 500, and we have another 2, then we would be down in less than 2 years of getting it, I'd pay it off. Then I'd have 200,000 that we'd be having for a budget back there, and we really wouldn't show that we're gaining something if we did something like that. Just trying to think outside the box.
That's what we're doing.
But this may be something that you may want to think about. This is a big thing, but again, we do know the problems that the county's having with, the jailers and stuff, and the expenses that go up. So, I don't know.
Well, I know I'm not inclined to make a decision on this tonight. So,
I do kind of like your line of thinking there, Mayor. Anytime we hear we're gonna have to raise some taxes, I think we all cringe a little bit. And,
Well, I think we're gonna have to raise the tax rate. I mean, whether we raise it 0.2, at worst case, we'd have to raise it 0.4.
But I'm saying, we just got this
I know.
tonight, and I think we have a lot to consider. But, I'm with Darren, I think, or whoever said it on that side of the aisle there. We need to kind of explore the options.
And we can do that. I just, those guys came and talked to me last week or week before, can't remember. And then Jan gave us some information and stuff, and it's listed here. And, but I'm thinking about, well, if we pay off our jail, or our police department, then we have that extra money. If we need to.
Well, that's all we ask to get you to consider.
And please don't misunderstand,
Oh, we don't know.
we want the county and city to, I think we've made some great strides over the past several years, and I want to keep that moving in that
We're
direction.
kind of on time constraints too. 22nd of this month, I think we have to make some sort of decision.
Okay,
That's the reason we came tonight. This was thrown at me and Ernie all at once too.
yeah.
You know.
Okay, well, thank you for your time
Thank
and
you.
consideration.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Ashley, are you here? There you are. She's our animal control officer. This is on reference.
Kevin Springer's the animal control
Oh,
officer now.
sorry.
You're fine.
That's another one that word needs, trim and shape. There's two different word, those are two different meanings. But, did we need to have a motion, sorry, man, do we need to have a motion that we table that?
I'll make a motion that we table, the public safety fund discussion.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, sorry. Thought I better get that in.
Here.
Okay. She's here to talk about the animal control ordinance.
So the first thing I would like to start on is the weather ordinance. I've been at the shelter for 4 years, and the one thing that never changes is when the weather becomes extreme, whether it's the heat or the snow, the wind, or the cold. We are constantly getting concerned citizens calling in with complaints, and right now the current ordinance doesn't give us a lot to work with to make people either bring their animals inside a controlled environment or to give them the proper shelter. So if you look over the first portion of this ordinance that I've written up, number one, it is pretty detailed on what is considered shelter for an animal, depending on the heat or the cold. And then we also tried to make a list of small, medium, and large dog breeds so that not only the citizens of Greensburg know when to call in, but this also helps owners. If you can look at your dog and you know it's a husky, they're okay out in 15-degree weather longer than a Chihuahua would be because it's going to have to come in because it's cold. But it has to doesn't thrive in 90-degree weather where a Chihuahua would. So we really tried to make it as specific as possible to kind of help with not only our department, but when the police get called out on this, so we can enforce it, people to bring their animals in or get them the proper shelter immediately.
Just a point of clarification, this sheet, is this all proposed language, new language, or just part of it?
It's proposed new language, we can change that a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to make sure, any of it was current, and it just added on, because this is all of it.
Yes, this is all new. This is
Okay.
something that I had created.
And this one is new.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Just curious, where did this come from?
Well, we are constantly getting calls and complaints, and we have one lady, Mel Fox, who has been in the office quite a bit, asking what we're going to do more about the weather, because she gets a lot of complaints filtered to her as well. And we have been working on this since January of this year. We reached out to Hope and different surrounding counties. We reached out to IUPUI Veterinary School, just to kind of see, because Indianapolis and different districts are starting to crack down on leaving their animals outside because animals are freezing to death or they're overheating, they're dehydrated, and we just don't want that happening here. Thankfully, we haven't had it yet.
In the language itself, where is it?
Hope helped us. Hope, yes, they helped a lot.
My personal opinion, I don't see 80 degrees as extreme heat.
That's what the veterinary school had told us is considered And there are signs as well that, that we can educate the city on. But this is just going to give us more guidelines on assisting the animals.
Well, basically, it's just saying that it must be shaded, the shelter and all that, right? Right?
Correct, yes.
It's not basically taking it inside.
Correct, because some people are not allowed to because the landlords don't let
Right.
them. But they at least have to provide the proper shelter to allow the animal to survive.
And is this enforcement complaint driven?
Yes. We do have a weather ordinance in there, but this is just more descriptive and it helps us to enforce.
Yeah, I see the current one, looks like it's just a couple sentences. Must provide shelter from freezing weather, snow and rain. Tied animals must have access to a shaded area at all times. And then I think there's another part that says, as proper and adequate structure provided that will protect the animal from all elements of weather and allow the animal to sit, stand, and lie down without restriction. Seems to be the current one. Has Hope experienced any complaints about this ordinance or difficulties in enforcing it?
If they did not share that information. They said it's went over pretty well. And we actually have dog houses built for the shelter each year that we make available to the community for people who can't afford this type of housing. So they don't have to go out and buy a $100, $200 dog house. We actually have those here that we can loan out or give out to them.
So are you talking about, if you're not in compliance with this ordinance, you're talking about fines then?
Correct.
So what's your plan in conveying all of these changes to the public, making sure that everyone is aware?
Well, we would definitely post this in the newspaper, of course.
You have to go bigger than that.
Oh, we will do whatever we need to do. We have a great Facebook outreach, so we'll have that posted online at all times. It's going to be posted on our website. We can get on the radio. We'll make sure that it's out there. And the thing is that when we first go on these calls, we don't fine immediately. It's more knowledge, so we'll just explain to them and get them on the right track. And if it's reoccurring, that's when we'll start enforcing the fines. But right away, it's just getting people all on the same page and just letting them know how it's spent.
Looks like it's, for this category, a $20 fine for the first offense, and then up to $1,000. Do you have any thoughts on chickens?
We had them in the shelter recently, a couple of weeks ago. We had them in the shelter.
I knew we were not going to get through this. I'm a lame duck, Daryl. I'll just throw these things in.
Thanks. Very good.
If we're done with this part. Okay. I did have a question about the kennel.
Yes.
You would go ahead and talk about that.
Yep, so actually the kennels, before this was revised in 2017, this portion was in the order ordinance, and it was accidentally left out. So what this really does for us is we deal with a lot of hoarding situations. Right now we can't enforce anything. So if a person has 20 animals, they have 20 animals. I mean, we cannot literally enforce anything. So what this does is it gives us more of a grip to make sure people aren't hoarding animals. And then that we would be able to remove any animal that's 6 months in order just until they're in guidelines.
So when it says more than 3 dogs, cats, so that's total, right? That's
Correct.
2 dogs and a cat.
And like I said, I mean, we've dealt with where people have had 30 or 40 cats. And we're pretty good at persuading people to help, but this will at least give us what we need to enforce it.
I know. I got friends got more than 3 cats, you know? They got more than 3 dogs.
And
I wouldn't call them kennels.
right. Our issue is, we have ran into a couple of times where people are breeding animals and they're wanting to keep the puppies that they have. So then they're having inbred puppies. I mean, we've taken them in when these animals, actually recently we've had a purebred Malinois brought in. Her puppies were 8 months old, they were never socialized, and it was almost impossible to adopt all 7 of these puppies out. And if we were able to get in there and enforce it earlier, we would be able to socialize them and get them the homes that they need. And this just kind of helps us enforce that.
Okay. Any other questions?
What is, okay, so it's not what is the core issue with having more cats? What are you really trying to prevent?
Usually, when people have more than, especially dogs, the veterinary care is gone. People just don't have the funds to take care of it. And we're seeing an increase of people coming in and requesting that we euthanize for free, which drives up our costs as well, because they can't afford to put their animal down because they have 6 other animals at home that they have to tend to. Or they can't afford dog food and they're coming to the shelter asking for free vaccinations, free dog food, and it's constant anymore. And what we have found, the recurring issue is they all have multiple animals. It's not just one, they have 4 or 5 animals, so they can't afford to take care of this one animal any longer. And especially the hoarding. The hoarding is really bad at times.
And why is that a problem?
Hoarding. Especially with cats, even dogs. Say if you have 6 cats in one litter box. Not all the cats are going to want to use that litter box, so they start going on the ground. The pneumonia comes in and it makes the humans sick and it makes the animals even worse because they're closer to the ground, so they're inhaling the pneumonia. So we're concerned about the health of the animals and living in that condition, and we're also concerned about the humans as well, the people that are living there. The health department cannot go in and condemn a house if they own it in that condition, so there's nothing we can do at that point. And I don't want to let an animal suffer just because we don't have the ordinance to back us up from removing the animals.
Is there a way to write the ordinance to address that issue as opposed to drawing a line that says if you have X amount, you're automatically a kennel? I mean, so if the ordinance said more that the animal has to be kept in such and such environment, and then if you have, instead of a line that you draw, and it sounds like you're more interested in the 30 cats than you are about the 4 cats.
Exactly, yes. And I can look at rewriting this and the kennel portion.
Just a thought.
Well, you guys meet tomorrow, right?
Yes.
So, this could be discussed with their board tomorrow, and then we can bring it back next, with that option and have the ordinance ready to, and we just wanted to have a good discussion and let you be aware of what's going on out there in the animal world besides chickens.
So you're saying that you shouldn't have any more than three animals in a kennel, so you can have more than 1 kennel?
No, in a dwelling, so in a home.
She's saying doesn't get more than 3 animals, you consider it a kennel.
Oh,
Because I believe zoning right now is you have to have 20 on all
I
that have a
can
license.
tell you 10 people that have 5 dogs right
I
now
mean, you can't have a kennel in a residential.
that eat better than I used to be.
Well, that's why I was getting at.
Yeah.
What's the real issue?
Yeah,
Maybe focus on that instead.
I agree.
Appreciate your hard work on this.
Thank you. Do you guys have any other questions about the impoundment or the adoption? That way, if that needs to be revised as well, I can have that. Anything else looks good? All right, thank you.
Thanks, see you tomorrow. Okay. Next, we have Brian Robbins, EDC.
The Tax Abatement Committee met last week to review SB1 that was submitted by Sean Green for the micro business park. You guys have a map of it there in front of you. And does everybody have a copy of the SB1 as well? I put one at everybody's desk there, followed by the notes from the meeting, as well as a letter from Sean there. Or at least a recap of my meeting with Sean. Investment on the property, the idea behind the property, and we have Sean here if you guys have some questions. The idea behind the property is to create an entrepreneurial center, shall we say, that's geared towards